Here we're going to look at topic 6, example 2, solve a compound inequality involving OR. So take note here, this is an OR inequality for compound inequality. Solve the compound inequality 5x minus 7 is less than 13 or negative 4x plus 3 is greater than 11. Graph the solution. What you want to do with these problems is you want to treat them as if they were two different problems and then just put them on the same graph or the same number line. All right, so just pretend that they're completely separate of one another. And if you can solve an inequality, you can solve a compound inequality. It's that straightforward. So again, just pretend they're two different problems, solve them as you normally would. So we're going to add 7 to each side here. 5x is less than 20. Divide by 5. So x would be less than 4. And that's pretty easy to graph, right? We'd be able to graph that. We'd have an open circle and then go from there. Now, the second one, I'm not going to graph them just yet because I want to see what the second one looks like. We have negative 4x plus 3 is greater than 11. So I would subtract 3. Negative 4x would be greater than 8. And then when I divide by negative 4, make sure you remember that your sign is going to flip. So x would be less than negative 2. Now, we have two numbers. We have the 4 and the negative 2. So I'm going to be a little lazy here, and sorry about that. I'm just going to put those two numbers on the point. So I'm going to say negative 2 and 4. You could add the other numbers in, but for our purposes, we really just need to show the parts of the inequality. Both of these are going to be open circles. I'm actually going to, let's put this one. So at negative 2, we have an open circle, and at 4, we have an open circle. Here we have x is less than 4. And this one's kind of a problem one, but x is less than 4 would go in this direction to the left here. And x is less than negative 2 would also go to the left here. So we would shade that left side. Now, a lot of times, and this is kind of a unique situation, I don't want to say unique, but a rare situation. Most times the OR statements, one of them goes left, one of them goes right. That's just kind of how the way the problems work out, things like that. However, it is possible for both of the inequalities in the OR statement, in the compound inequality, to head in the same direction. And if that is the case, you would just shade everything here, right? So in this case, the x is less than 4 kind of takes precedence, right? Because it's the one that covers everything. Basically, if a number is less than negative 2, it is also less than 4. So there's not too much of a reason for this part, right? This isn't all that useful to us because it doesn't give us any new solutions. However, you do need to graph them in this format. All right, so you'd solve each one individually and then graph them on the same number line, but kind of graph them separately to see what it would look like. And then there is the chance that they overlap. In this case, it overlaps, so we would shade everything to the left of the 4. Oftentimes, you're going to see OR statements that look a bit more like 6.1 part A, where one of them is shaded left, one of them is shaded right. I just want to kind of reinforce and restate this. It is possible for both of them to head in the same direction, which is what we have here. So be aware of that. Note that it can happen, but note that it usually is a rare case.